Hello, I'm back. This should be your fourth week in Art with me. And this week I'm just super excited about this artist. Her name is Kristen Farr. Hopefully you just watched her video where she plays with color. I love color. I love also to put colors next to each other that contrast. I like to do things that aren't always realistic. And so today we are going to make a Kristen Farr inspired art piece. It's definitely going to be a circle. You are going to need a paper plate, you are going to need a pencil, you're going to need a ruler, and eventually you're going to need something to color with. And that something can be a lot of different choices this week. You could use markers, you could use crayons, you could use colored pencils, watercolors, or paint. It's kind of whatever you have at home and whatever you want to use. I think I'm probably going to use paint just because I'm really excited about this project. So let's get started. Over here, you're going to notice that I got a paper plate. So you can get any plate from your kitchen and that will work. And you will also definitely need a ruler. So we're going to start with a piece of white paper, and we're going to start with the plate. My plate is almost too big, but I'm going to very gently trace around it, and hopefully you can see this pencil line when I move the plate. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on the two sides that kind of fall off the edge. And if you need to pause this video and you want to do this with me, and just pause and go step by step, absolutely do it. So over here on the sides, I'm just going to kind of connect those pieces. I know that it wasn't perfect, and that's okay. I'm not going to be worried about that. Now, the next piece that we have to do, which is really important, is find the center of our circle. So the ruler for this project is going to be used for straight lines. It's also going to be used for measuring. So the paper that I am using from one side to the other, and remember on the ruler, you don't start all the way over here on the edge. You start at that very first line. So don't let that trick you. So when I put my ruler on my paper, I have it sticking over just a little bit because it doesn't actually start until here. So I have a 9-inch paper. Math gurus, what's half a 9? 4.5. So at the 4.5 mark, I'm going to just make a straight line. I'm even going to move my ruler a little bit more down the page and go to that 4.5 mark again. And I'm just trying to get a straight line, kind of where I think the middle is. Now I'm going to turn the paper this direction. Again, putting the ruler on the first mark, and it looks like my page is now 12. That's really easy. What's half of 12? Woo, throw my pencil. 6. 6 is half of 12. So now I'm going to draw my line at 6. And where these two intersect, that is my exact center. So right here, I'm going to put a nice dot. Okay? Now, I said to make those lines long because this time we're going to use those lines to make our first line across our circle. So I lined it up, making sure it goes through the dot. That's super important. And I just went straight across. Next, turn the paper the other way, and we're going to do the same thing. So using this little guideline that I made, I'm going to kind of line up my ruler, and I'm going to go straight across. Now you can see that my little guideline is kind of on the side. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just kind of want it close. So the next step is a bit trickier. I want a line that's going to divide, this direction. So if I take, let's see what we get over here. Oh, 6.5, that's not bad. So if I go half of 6.5, that's going to be 3.25. So I'm going to give myself a little line over there. And I hope that it's the same over here. Pretty close. So we're going to go 6.25 on that. And I just put a tiny little mark. I don't even know if you can see it over here. Right there. So now I'm going to put my pencil on my dot And I'm going to try to line up both of these lines. And they actually do. Draw my line. Now I have a perfect division of those. Same thing on the other side. Grab my ruler. It's 6.5. Pretty good. So 3 1/4. And I say quarter. Maybe we should do a little lesson on the ruler. When the 2, this is the long 2 mark on my ruler, and this is my 3, and this is my 4. When I'm saying 3 1/4, it means that there are 4 distinct sections on this ruler, on every ruler, and think of it like a dollar bill. So how many quarters are in a dollar? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there are 4 quarters in an inch also. So when I'm saying 3 1/4, I'm saying 3 and that first long mark. There are lots of marks on a ruler, but for this project and every project, I usually go with these long ones that are quarters. There are 8ths and 16ths on a ruler, but for art, usually getting it to the quarter is good enough. So I did that. I got to come up here and go across 3 1/4. See that first mark? That's what I'm putting it. That's where I'm putting it. Okay, put your pencil in the circle dot. That's super important before you make your line. Okay? Now, some of you have maybe already done this process because when we do a color wheel each year, this is similar to what we have in a color wheel. This particular one, circle, has been now divided into 8 sections. We usually do 12 sections for our color wheel, but it's kind of the same process. So, I'm going to push pause for a second and gather my colors. Okay, I'm back. I did not grab colors. I ended up talking to Mrs. Evans on something, and I'm going to continue on. So, now we are going to mark each line. We're going to put a mark at the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4. Okay? So I'm going to start with my ruler right there in the middle, and I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn. Line up again that line with the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue doing that until you have all lines marked. All right, I'm back. I have all of my lines marked, and the next step is to take my ruler, and on each triangular section, I'm going to draw a line from one spot to the other, all the way down the triangle piece. Straight lines. Okay, so there is one triangle piece finished. Now I'm going to move to the next one. On this next one, I'm going to make sure that I grab that line where I ended and take it to the next mark. This is going to make sure that all of our sections are even. Because her artwork is so precise, we want to make sure that ours is as precise and crisp as we can get it. So you just keep working all the way around your circle and connecting those pieces. I'm going to pause while we work. All right, you've gotten to a point in your project that you can actually start coloring if you want to. And here's how I would recommend doing that. I would look at this circle in 4 chunks. So here's one chunk. Here's a chunk. Do you see the 4 pieces? 3 and 4. Within one piece, and I'm going to actually take some paper and I'm going to cover up these to not distract myself. You could totally do that. All right. So, to create an optical illusion, as we did in our triangle project, you need to color one side of this light shades and the other dark. Does it have to be the same color? No. I could do a dark green here, and make sure that this one that connects in that triangle piece, or in the chevron, is a light green. I might do a dark blue here and a light blue on this side. So as long as you keep darks on one side and lights on the other side, it doesn't matter what colors you use. The choice is yours. You can create a pattern. Say I wanted this particular piece to just be blue and green. I could do blue, skip, blue, skip, blue, and then green, skip, green. So I would have 3 blue, 1, 2, 3, and 2 green, these 2. And then maybe on my next piece, I would choose to do 2 different colors. Maybe I want to do pink and purple. It doesn't matter as long as you keep your lights and your darks. Now, if you want a bit more of a challenge, we can divide this even farther. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to bring those papers back because I think it'll be easier for you to notice this. It's easier for me anyway. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to divide these sections with diagonal lines. Okay? This is my left side, so I'm always going to start all the way to the left with my line and diagonally bring it to the center. So up here, I'm going to start here and bring my line across. I'm going to move down a dot, and I'm going to bring it in as a diagonal. Move down a dot, bring it in as a diagonal, and one more time. Down a dot, and bring it over here as a diagonal. I am leaving the first triangle piece blank. Now, this side is on the right. So I'm going to be using all of the very right hand dots and bringing them to the middle. So I'm going to go right side to the middle, come down one, bring it to the middle, come down one, bring it to the middle, and my last one, bring it to the middle. You really have to push down hard on your ruler to make sure it doesn't move. This is now 1/4 of my project.
Julie Devine, can you call the office?
So,
4213.
I'm going to
Thank you.
cover this. I'm going to turn it so it's easier for me. You should be turning yours also. And I'm going to do the same thing. So, left side, down to the middle, left side, down to the middle, left side, down to the middle, left side, down to the middle. Okay, right side. I'm going to move that just a little bit more. Right side, down to the middle, right dot, down to the middle. And covering that makes a huge difference, you guys. Down to the middle, and right dot, down to the middle. Because otherwise I'm going to get visually, I'm going to get off track. I'm not going to know where I'm going or what I'm doing. But already we can see this side looks amazing. I can't wait to paint this. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to finish this. And if you need help again, just rewind it and watch again what I did. Ta-da! It looks amazing. This is enough for today. So as long as you get your circle ready to color, you are finished for today. Congratulations. This was a harder task.